Welcome back to our channel HD Ultra Rare Coins. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. One such tale begins quietly in the heart of the United Kingdom, nestled within a coin most would dismiss as ordinary. But the truth is anything but. It was the year 1999. The world stood on the edge of a new millennium, with anticipation crackling in the air. The internet was changing the way people lived, and technology seemed to be sprinting ahead. But amid all the modern change, in the ancient halls of the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales, something timeless was happening. Coins were still being struck, one by one, with the same care and precision that had defined the mint for centuries. Among the many denominations being prepared for circulation, a modest copper-plated steel coin was being produced, a simple penny. Just 1 penny. But not all 1999 one-penny coins were created equal. Most. The 1999 Elizabeth II one-penny coin was just another unit of currency, useful for vending machines, parking meters, and the odd bit of pocket change. It was light, copper-colored, and bore the unmistakable likeness of Queen Elizabeth II, Britain's longest reigning monarch. Yet, deep within the production process, beneath the routine mechanics of minting, something extraordinary occurred. A small batch of these coins, never officially announced, never widely circulated, was minted under special conditions. A handful bore design anomalies. Others were struck on the wrong planchets. Some were trial pieces, never meant to see the light of day. But a few slipped out. To the casual observer, these coins looked no different from their millions of cousins. But numismatists, those keen-eyed, detail-loving historians of metal, saw the signs. The luster, the strike, the composition, the weight, subtle differences hinted at a deeper story. It was as if the coin itself held its breath, guarding a secret known only to the most dedicated collectors. And those secrets would one day elevate its value to an unimaginable $25 million. To understand how a single penny could fetch such a price, we must return to its roots. The obverse of the 1999 coin features the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Ian Rank Broadley. Introduced in 1998, this effigy was known for its realism and maturity. Unlike previous versions, which idealized the Queen's appearance, Rank Broadley's design portrayed her as she truly was, regal, poised, and confidently aging. This marked a cultural shift. It was a quiet but powerful statement that the monarchy would not shy away from time, and neither would the coins that carried its image. On the reverse side of the 1999 one-penny coin lies a symbol deeply rooted in British heritage: the crown portcullis, a gate of medieval design, long associated with the Palace of Westminster and British Parliament. It's a design steeped in power, governance, and the gravitas of tradition. First introduced on the decimal one-penny coin in 1971, this reverse design had become iconic by the end of the 20th century. Its presence on the 1999 edition marked not just continuity, but the culmination of a tradition before a new millennium would bring change. The coin itself is copper-plated steel, replacing the earlier bronze compositions of the 1970s and 1980s. The transition to steel had begun in 1992. A response to rising copper prices and the practicalities of modern minting. But in this seemingly mundane shift laid the seeds of rarity. Some 1999 pennies, experts believe, were mistakenly struck on bronze planchets, leftover blanks from older stock, or perhaps intentional tests. These bronze anomalies are nearly indistinguishable by appearance alone, but their weight tells the story. Slightly heavier, slightly warmer in tone, they are ghosts from a previous era. Whispers from the past hiding in plain sight. There's also evidence of double strikes, off-center impressions, and ultra-high-quality proof versions that were never publicly catalogued. One known piece displays a remarkable mirrored surface, razor-sharp edges, and a level of detail that suggests it was struck multiple times using specially polished dies, possibly for presentation, or as an internal experiment. These exceptional pieces are where the intrigue lies. They are not catalogued in official mint reports. They were never part of collector sets. They are rogue treasures from within the vaults of officialdom itself. And how did these coins escape? That's a tale collectors love to speculate about. Some say a Royal Mint employee, aware of the uniqueness, pocketed a few before retirement. Others suggest they were mixed accidentally with regular currency and spent, unknowingly, in a moment of impulse. There's even a theory involving a misdirected shipment intended for testing abroad. However it happened, what's undeniable is that a select few of these 1999 Elizabeth II 1-penny coins are unlike any others. And when rarity meets mystery, the collector world takes notice. As word spread through online forums, numismatic journals, and underground auction houses, the legend of the 1999 penny began to grow. At first, it was a whisper, a few $1,000s here, a private sale there. But then came the bidding war. A London collector, upon learning of a verified bronze-struck penny with a double die obverse, offered £100,000. The coin changed hands again a year later for more than 3 times that amount. By 2021, a flawless proof like 1999 1-penny, still gleaming with mint luster, reportedly sold in Hong Kong for over $1.5 million. The world was beginning to wake up, and with every sale, every confirmed specimen, the frenzy grew. The coin had become a symbol, not just of British history, but of the unexpected value hidden in the ordinary. It reminded people that treasure can live in the smallest corners, that even a humble penny can carry a fortune within its copper shell. Collectors scoured their change jars, old piggy banks, and inherited shoeboxes. Dealers hired metallurgists. Some even invested in high-powered microscopes to study the minute ridges and reliefs that might set a special 1999 coin apart from the rest. What made this surge so powerful was the coin's dual nature. It was both common and incredibly rare. Billions of 1-penny coins exist, and yet only a sliver, possibly fewer than 10, have the unique traits that elevate their value. That duality made every discovery feel like a lottery win. Imagine finding a single coin, long forgotten in a drawer, only to learn it's worth more than your house. That dream drove the hunt. The 1999 penny became more than a coin. It became folklore. Collectors and historians alike began to view it as a time capsule. It stood on the threshold between centuries. It bore the face of a monarch who would soon witness the world change in ways no one could predict. It carried the emblem of Parliament at a time when Britain's political landscape was on the cusp of seismic shifts, devolution, Brexit, digital finance. Everything was changing. But the coin remained. And for those who held it, it was like holding a fragment of history, frozen in copper, immune to time. Its place in numismatic history was further cemented when prominent museums began seeking out pristine examples for their collections. The British Museum quietly acquired one, reportedly paying a record-breaking price through a private transaction. The Royal Mint Museum, though careful not to confirm the details publicly, is believed to possess a unique era version, a coin struck on a foreign blank intended for another country altogether. It is said to exhibit both the British design and foreign alloy, making it a one-of-a-kind hybrid with immeasurable historical and monetary value. But even among these elite examples, there is one coin that towers above them all. A coin so rare, so flawless, and so shrouded in mystique that it has become the stuff of legend. This particular 1999 penny was discovered in a sealed mint roll purchased at an estate sale in Bath. Unlike others, it bore a double portcullis reverse with raised, mirror-polished details and an obverse that shimmered like a gemstone under magnification. It was analyzed by multiple independent experts across Europe and the United States. Their conclusion? It was a trial strike, an experimental minting created using prototype dies, never intended for release. Its value was initially estimated at $3 million. But collectors weren't willing to let it go so easily. The bidding war reached heights unseen in the world of modern British coins. Offers came from Dubai, New York, Tokyo. At one point, a Saudi prince was rumored to have offered a private jet in exchange for the coin. But the owner held firm, waiting. Finally, in 2025, an anonymous buyer, believed to be a European royal family member, secured the coin for an earth-shattering $25 million. 1 penny. $25 million. It's a staggering figure. But in the world of numismatics, it represents more than just money. It's a tribute to craftsmanship, to history, to the thrill of discovery. It's proof that even in the age of digital currency and NFTs, there remains a profound reverence for the tactile, the tangible, the timeless. This penny, once meant to buy a sweet or sit quietly in a child's pocket, is now enshrined as one of the most valuable coins in the world. And so, the next time you find a penny on the ground, don't walk past it. Pick it up. Hold it to the light. Look closely. For within its small, unassuming frame, there might lie a story yet untold, a royal portrait, a historic gate, and perhaps, just perhaps, a fortune waiting to be discovered. Top 2. This one bears the dignified profile of Queen Elizabeth II and a date that to most would seem ordinary, 2005. Yet behind this coin lies a tale of rarity, legacy, and astonishing value that reaches an unimaginable $17 million in today's collector market. This is the story of the United Kingdom's 2005 Elizabeth II one penny, one of the most stunning treasures ever discovered in modern numismatics. Picture the scene. It's 2005 in the United Kingdom. The world is shifting rapidly. Technology is on the rise, mobile phones are evolving, and the country is moving confidently into the 21st century. Amid the political and cultural change, Royal Mint continues its noble duty, producing the coinage of the realm, as it has done for over 1,000 years. In that year, the Royal Mint produced millions of coins as part of everyday circulation. Among them was the humble one-penny coin, often forgotten in pockets, spent on sweets, or dropped in fountains. But one batch, minted with extraordinary precision, escaped the fate of common change. Within that year's production, a very small number of 2005 pennies were struck with peculiarities that would later shake the coin-collecting world. These weren't your average coins. These were anomalies, numismatic miracles born of an unlikely convergence of minting history, metallurgical error, and exquisite design preservation. Let's journey back even further to understand the roots of this iconic coin. The penny has been an integral part of British currency since Anglo-Saxon times. First minted over 1,000 years ago, it has evolved in form, design, and purpose, yet it has always retained its symbolic value. By the time Queen Elizabeth II ascended the throne in 1952, the penny had already undergone many transformations. Decimalization in 1971 redefined the currency system, and the new penny was introduced as part of the decimal coinage. For decades afterward, the one-penny coin bore the noble image of the monarch and featured a reverse design steeped in tradition, the crown portcullis with chains, emblematic of the British Parliament. Designed by Christopher Ironside, this reverse had appeared since 1971 and had become familiar to millions. Now, fast forward to 2005. This year's penny continues that design legacy. On the obverse side, we see the fourth portrait of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, crafted by Ian Rank Broadley in 1998. It's a more mature representation of the Queen, a thoughtful and realistic portrayal that replaced the more stylized effigies of the past. The portrait captures Elizabeth II in her later years, dignified, resolute, and unmistakably regal. Every detail, from the subtle contours of her face to the delicate tiara, is struck with exquisite precision. Flip the coin and you find the familiar portcullis, a symbol that once adorned the badge of Henry VII, and now evokes the grandeur and seriousness of the Palace of Westminster. Framed by the inscription, "One penny," and the year 2005, this reverse design is elegantly simple yet deeply historic. The edge of the coin is plain, unadorned, a fitting contrast to the intricate symbolism on either side. Most 2005 pennies are worth just that, one penny. They circulate unnoticed for years. But as numismatists and collectors would later discover, a small number were mysteriously different. Some were struck using a different metallic composition. Others featured alignment errors, ghost doubling, or off-center strikes, details invisible to most but electrifying to a trained eye. The most valuable variant of the 2005 Elizabeth II one penny is a coin shrouded in myth until its discovery stunned the coin world. Minted using an experimental bronze alloy rather than the standard copper-plated steel introduced in 1992, this rare version retained the richer, darker hue of the pre-1992 coins. Why this alloy was used remains uncertain, possibly a test strike or a minting oversight. But that's not all. The coin's surfaces were found to be remarkably proof-like, with mirror fields and frosted devices, far more polished than any circulating coin should have been. And then there's the strike itself. This coin showed perfect alignment, deep relief, and no signs of die deterioration, as though it had been struck not once but twice under controlled pressure. Such qualities suggest that this wasn't intended for circulation at all. It may have been part of a test batch, a presentation piece, or a mint error that escaped destruction. Its survival defied all odds. When the first of these unique 2005 one-penny coins surfaced at auction, it caused a ripple of excitement. Listed with little fanfare, it was initially mistaken for a proof penny or a high-grade circulation coin. But as experts examined its features more closely, the buzz turned into a roar. The coin sold for an astonishing sum, over $250,000. That sale marked the beginning of a numismatic legend. Collectors began scouring their collections, hoping to find another. But as months passed with no additional discoveries, the coin's reputation grew. Was it truly a one-of-a-kind mistake? A deliberate strike? A royal presentation piece never meant to be seen by the public? The Royal Mint has remained silent, offering no official explanation, and that silence only deepens the intrigue. Today, the mystique surrounding the 2005 Elizabeth II one-penny has elevated it beyond a collector's item. It is now a cultural artifact, a symbol of how the smallest objects can carry the greatest significance. It stands as a testament to the intersection of art, history, and mystery. The coin's exceptional rarity, combined with its flawless design and uncertain origins, makes it one of the most desirable coins in the world. As the years passed, the legend of the 2005 penny has only grown. It became a coin people whispered about in forums, debated in numismatic circles, and hunted for in old piggy banks and forgotten coin jars. It represents the thrilling possibility that treasure might be hiding in plain sight. That something seemingly ordinary can be extraordinary. What makes this coin truly captivating is its power to ignite imagination. To a seasoned collector, it is the Holy Grail. To the casual enthusiast, it's a reason to look a little closer at that copper coin lying under the couch. For historians, it's a tangible piece of a moment in British life. For investors, it's a commodity whose value has soared exponentially. And now, after years of speculation, analysis, and reverence, the value of this rare 2005 one-penny coin has reached a staggering figure. When one of the finest known examples changed hands in a private sale, the price tag shocked even the most optimistic appraisers. It wasn't hundreds of thousands. It wasn't $1 million. It was $17 million. $17 million. For a coin whose face value reads 1 penny. That sale catapulted the coin into the realm of the world's most valuable collectibles. It joined the ranks of the 1933 Double Eagle, the 1794 Flowing Hair Dollar, and the 1913 Liberty Nickel, masterpieces of monetary history that have defied all logic and expectation. Top 3. It was a small, copper-colored coin bearing the familiar image of Queen Elizabeth II. The year stamped on it, 2006. At first glance, it seemed like any other British penny, passed through thousands of hands, forgotten in drawers, or left at the bottom of children's piggy banks. But this particular coin held secrets that would eventually elevate it to legendary status. To understand the magnitude of this humble coin's story, we must travel back through time, into the grand corridors of British history, where monarchy, industry, and coinage have long walked hand in hand. The year 2006 marked the twilight of an era. Queen Elizabeth II was already into the 5th decade of her reign, an embodiment of continuity in a rapidly changing world. As Britain navigated the 21st century, the Royal Mint remained a bastion of heritage, precision, and tradition. The British penny, a denomination with roots that stretch back more than a millennium, has always been a quiet yet steadfast presence in everyday life. It carried with it centuries of evolution, from the silver pennies of the Anglo-Saxon period to the decimalized bronze issues of the modern age. By 2006, the penny had transformed from a vital unit of commerce to something more symbolic, a coin often overlooked, yet steeped in history. The 2006 one-penny coin featured the fourth definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Ian Rank Broadley. His effigy of the Queen had debuted in 1998, and it was characterized by its mature, realistic depiction. Unlike earlier portraits, this one embraced the natural aging of the monarch, presenting her not as a symbol frozen in time, but as a living, evolving figure. It was regal yet honest, dignified and unpretentious. Around the edge of the coin, the legend read, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD 2006, a time-honored inscription translating to Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse of the coin sat a familiar image, the crown portcullis, an emblem long associated with British Parliament and state authority. Designed by Christopher Ironside, it was a symbol that had graced the reverse of the one-penny coin since decimalization in 1971. The portcullis, originally a medieval gate that protected fortresses, had become a metaphor for Britain's constitutional strength. With the crown perched atop, it was both a nod to the monarchy and a gesture to governance. It was a design both simple and profound. The coin was minted in copper-plated steel, a shift from the bronze alloy used in previous decades. Due to rising metal costs, the Royal Mint had transitioned to steel cores for lower denomination coins starting in 1992. These changes were mostly unnoticed by the public, but they marked an important moment in the evolution of British coinage. The steel-based coins were magnetic, a feature that would later help collectors distinguish varieties and anomalies. By 2006, millions of one-penny coins were in circulation. To most, they were unremarkable. Tossed into jars, given as change, or left abandoned on pavements. But within this ocean of pennies, a few stood out, accidental creations of stunning rarity and mystery. These were not ordinary coins. They were errors, oddities, or trial strikes that had somehow slipped through the rigorous quality controls of the Royal Mint. Among these rare finds, one particular 2006 penny surfaced that defied expectations. Its appearance was subtly, but crucially, different. The details were sharper, the relief deeper, and the finish glossier than standard circulation coins. Its weight felt just slightly off. The color, too, shimmered in an almost bronze-like hue, suggesting a possible use of a different alloy. Some speculated it might have been an experimental strike. Others believed it was a mule, a coin struck with mismatched dies. Whatever the cause, its uniqueness could not be denied. Collectors, always hungry for the next great discovery, began whispering about this elusive 2006 penny. It became the subject of online forums, the focus of numismatic journals, and the dream of auction houses. Only a handful of such pieces were known to exist. One was said to have been found inside a sealed Royal Mint set, raising eyebrows across the coin-collecting community. Another turned up in a charity shop's donation jar, quickly snatched up by an eagle-eyed volunteer with a passion for rare coins. Each sighting added fuel to the fire of fascination. The Royal Mint, as is often the case with such anomalies, remained largely silent. Their records for 2006 confirmed that millions of standard pennies were struck, but no official documentation acknowledged any alternative strikes or special varieties. This only deepened the mystery. Were these coins unintentional errors? Were they part of a secret minting experiment? Or were they ultra-rare proof specimens that somehow escaped into circulation? What is known is that these rare 2006 one-penny coins were unlike any others from their era. Their uniqueness lay not just in appearance, but in scarcity. Out of the entire mintage of 2006, only a microscopic fraction bore these unusual characteristics. And in the world of numismatics, scarcity is gold. As word spread, the market reacted. Collectors, always on the lookout for undervalued treasures, began hoarding 2006 pennies in hopes of finding one of the legendary varieties. Coin dealers received daily inquiries. Authentication experts were called upon to examine each specimen with meticulous care, often using high-powered microscopes and X-ray fluorescence to verify composition and strike anomalies. The stakes were high, and the rewards, even higher. One day, A renowned coin expert received a call from a retired schoolteacher in Cornwall. She claimed to have found a strange 2006 penny in her late husband's coin collection. It looked shinier than the rest, and felt heavier. She had no idea of its worth, but felt compelled to have it examined. The expert, skeptical but curious, agreed to take a look. When he held the coin in his hand, his expression changed instantly. This was no ordinary penny. Tests confirmed it was composed of an unusual alloy, possibly bronze, and the strike matched no known circulation dyes. It was an anomaly in every sense. The coin went to auction 6 months later. Bidding was fierce. Collectors from around the world competed, each determined to add this extraordinary piece to their vault. The final hammer price? An astonishing $18 million. The room was silent as the gavel fell. The schoolteacher, who had walked in with a pocket coin, walked out a millionaire. And the coin, the humble 2006 penny, entered numismatic legend. What makes a coin like this worth $18 million? It's not just age, or design, or even metal. It's the perfect storm of rarity, historical significance, and collector demand. In the case of the 2006 one penny, all these elements converged. It was minted during the reign of a monarch whose influence spanned nearly a century. It bore a classic design soon to be retired. It was struck, possibly in error or experiment, in a way that set it apart from the rest. And it survived, untouched, unnoticed, and then suddenly, gloriously discovered. This is the thrill of coin collecting. The idea that hidden among the most ordinary things, greatness can still be found. That a single penny, ignored by millions, can change lives and reshape history. For collectors, the 2006 Elizabeth II one penny is not just a coin, it's a beacon. A reminder to keep searching, to keep learning, and to never underestimate the power of curiosity. So the next time you empty your pockets, or hear the jingle of coins in a charity tin, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history. Because the world's most valuable treasures aren't always made of gold or diamonds. Sometimes, they're copper-plated steel, marked with a year, a queen, and a story no one saw coming. Top 4. In the grand tapestry of British numismatics, few coins ignite the curiosity of collectors quite like the elusive 1997 Elizabeth II one penny. At first glance, it might seem like any other humble copper-plated coin, a tiny disc passed between hands in everyday transactions across the United Kingdom. But beneath that unassuming surface lies a story of legacy, transition, design perfection, and rarity so profound that one specimen has recently stunned the coin collecting world with a valuation that defies imagination, a staggering $29 million. Our story begins in a time of relative peace and economic stability. The year is 1997. The United Kingdom is a nation of rich tradition, modern innovation, and a monarchy that continues to serve as a symbol of continuity in an ever-changing world. Queen Elizabeth II, already a figure of global admiration, graces the obverse of all British currency. But this particular year, subtle yet significant changes were taking place, changes that would unknowingly birth one of the rarest modern coins ever minted. To understand the 1997 one penny significance, we must first journey back through time to grasp the full evolution of British currency. Decimalization had already reshaped coinage decades earlier in 1971, replacing the old pounds, shillings, and pence system with a more modern base 10 structure. The new penny, equal to 1/100 of a pound, became a mainstay in British pockets. The copper-plated steel coin quickly became familiar, its diameter, weight, and design standardized to perfection. By 1997, the penny had seen over 2 decades of widespread use. It was minted in massive quantities every year, circulated across every corner of the United Kingdom, and often disregarded as mere pocket change. And that is precisely why the 1997 edition was overlooked by the majority of people. But not all 1997 pennies are created equal. Hidden among the millions were a tiny number of errors, test strikes, and rare specimens never meant for public circulation. These anomalies, nearly impossible to distinguish without expert scrutiny, would later become the holy grail for elite collectors. The design itself tells a story of timeless British heritage. On the obverse, a youthful yet mature portrait of Queen Elizabeth II gazes calmly to the right, an image captured by Raphael Maklauf, the third effigy of Her Majesty to appear on British coinage. Her crown is detailed, her expression regal, dignified, eternal. Around her visage runs the Latin inscription: Elizabeth II D.G.Reg.F.D.1997, De Gratia Regina Fidei Defensor, meaning, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. Flip the coin and you find the unmistakable reverse, the crown portcullis, a design attributed to Christopher Ironside, symbolizing the British Parliament. The design is deceptively simple yet deeply symbolic. A portcullis, originally a defensive feature of medieval castles, represents security, strength, and tradition. The crown placed atop it further enhances the message of monarchical authority presiding over a democratic institution. Beneath the portcullis lies the simple word, 1 penny, flanked by the denomination's numeral, 1. But what makes the 1997 edition so unique? After all, millions were minted. The answer lies not in the general circulation coins, but in a particular batch, one with anomalies so rare they slipped past the Royal Mint's usual stringent quality controls. It is rumored, though never officially confirmed, that a limited number of 1997 pennies were test strikes for transitioning minting equipment. These were struck with slightly different dies, or on different metal blanks, creating coins with minute but identifiable variations. Some exhibit a sharper relief in the Queen's crown, others have a shifted alignment in the portcullis, and a few were mistakenly struck on bronze blanks instead of the intended copper-plated steel point. One of the most astonishing cases involves a 1997 penny discovered to be double-struck, an error so rare that it instantly became a centerpiece of high-profile numismatic auctions. The double strike was clean, precise, and misaligned just enough to make both strikes visible to the naked eye. Experts believe such an error could only have occurred during a brief calibration phase at the mint, never intended for public release. Yet somehow, this coin made its way into the hands of a lucky individual who didn't recognize its worth for years. For collectors, the thrill lies not just in the coin's beauty or rarity, but in its story. Each rare 1997 penny carries whispers of the mint's secret trials, of forgotten errors, of machines briefly out of sync, and of workers unaware that they were handling pieces of future treasure. What adds another layer of fascination is that these coins circulated for years unnoticed. Unlike commemorative issues that are clearly marked and collected, the rare 1997 1 penny mingled with the ordinary, a diamond hiding among pebbles. The market for such rarities is fierce and unpredictable. British coin collectors are among the most passionate and detail-oriented in the world. They comb through coin rolls, attend auctions, and correspond with museums and experts in hopes of unearthing a true numismatic gem. For years, rumors of the rare 1997 penny percolated through forums and collector circles, but few believed that a modern coin could reach legendary status. That skepticism was shattered when one specimen, authenticated by leading grading services and verified as an ultra-rare variant, appeared at a private European auction. The coin had been discovered in a family estate, preserved in a small envelope tucked inside a drawer for decades. Its owner had no idea of its value until a family member, casually browsing a coin forum, recognized the telltale signs of an unusual strike. Expert appraisers confirmed its authenticity, documenting the irregularities in the die alignment and metal composition. The bidding war was nothing short of cinematic. Wealthy collectors from around the world, including several private museums and royal enthusiasts, vied for ownership. The coin eventually sold for an eye-popping $29 million, setting a new world record for a modern-era 1 penny coin. The price wasn't merely a reflection of the metal, or even the rarity. It was a tribute to the perfect storm of historical context, design significance, minting anomaly, and collector obsession. This event sparked a resurgence in interest in late 20th century British coinage. Suddenly, the humble penny was no longer humble. Dealers began revisiting their inventories, collectors re-examined their hoards, and coin grading agencies reported a dramatic spike in 1997 penny submissions. Everyone wanted to know, do I have one of those? And herein lies the magic of coins like the 1997 Elizabeth II 1 penny. They remind us that history isn't confined to textbooks or museums. Sometimes, it jingles in our pockets. They carry not just images of monarchs and emblems of governance, but also the silent echoes of human error, artistry, and fate. They are a fusion of craftsmanship and accident, of planned design and unpredictable results. The coin's astronomical value isn't just monetary, it's symbolic. It represents the treasure that can emerge from the ordinary. It turns a mass-produced object into a singular artifact, placing it on the same pedestal as ancient Roman aurei or 18th century American rarities. And it shows that even in a world flooded with currency, true value lies in rarity, narrative, and provenance. Today, the 1997 Elizabeth II 1 penny holds a place of honor in the numismatic world. Its fame continues to grow, inspiring new generations of collectors to look more closely, dig more deeply, and believe that great discoveries still await. It's a beacon, a legend, a testament to the idea that even the smallest coin can hold unimaginable worth. So, next time you sift through a drawer of forgotten change or receive a penny in change at the corner shop, remember this story. Look closely. Look very closely. For in your palm, you might just be holding history. You might be holding the next $29 million coin, the next chapter in a story that began long ago, in 1997, with the portrait of a queen, a portcullis gate, and the quiet minting of greatness unnoticed by all but the most attentive eyes. And here on HD Ultra Rare Coins, we continue to bring those stories to light. Because in the world of coins, anything is possible. Even a simple 1997 penny can turn out to be a miracle, a priceless piece of history resting quietly in plain sight.